Can anybody hear me? Okay. Hi. I couldn't find the water, so today it's going to be Coke. So hi, my name is Dan Abramov. I used to work on Bluesky for a little bit and on React for a little bit before that. And right now I'm just doing random stuff. And so some projects you start because you have like a real problem that you want to solve. This is not one of those projects. So this is one of those projects where like I just had this idea that I know React pretty well, and like I know how components work, and I also kind of know ATprado at this point. And I just had this idea, like, what if you put components on ATprado? And I just couldn't like kind of get rid of this idea. And at some point I decided, okay, I just need to try and see where that leads. So I vibe coded a prototype like a couple of months ago in 1 week. And it kind of looked like this. I ended up spending the next 2 months completely rebuilding it like properly. But I'll just show you the prototype first, and then I'll kind of show you how it works. So what you see here is, I guess it's kind of like a Bluesky profile page. So I'm just using that as an example. It has like different tabs. It has the replies tab and the media tab. It has pagination. Has this curricle component. There's this like third-party website that has this feature that lets you see kind of social connection and like jump between people and see who kind of interacted with whom recently, which I think is a really nice kind of thing you can do when the data is open. But one frustration for me with a lot of apps, like with app paradigm in general, is that things like this have to live somewhere else. Like there's really no point in continuum between, here's like a one-off tool that I throw away that like lives on some URL somewhere that is like not discoverable, and here's like a whole app. And there really isn't much like in the middle. And so I thought it would be interesting if there was a way for people to kind of prototype features like this in a place where you can find them. And so maybe let's have a look at how this actually works, because so far it just looks like kind of like a worse browser. But one interesting thing we can do is I can click inspect on it, and it kind of opens up a little bit. You can see that actually like what I've been looking for is kind of like a tree, kind of like a React tree, except each of these things is actually a ATprado record somewhere. So these are different components that could be implemented by different people, could live in different places, and so on. And maybe let's kind of pull it out a little bit. So this is my profile header, and this is profile posts. And profile posts is probably, you wouldn't be surprised that it's a list of posts. And a post itself, it has like avatar and handle. Yeah, we need to go deeper. Yeah. So okay. So what can we do with it? So one thing I want to do is I'm gonna open this as a different user. So I have another browser here. Let's take this profile header. So I'm now logged in not as Dan Abramov, but like as another user, and I have this remix button here. So I'm gonna press remix, and I hope that it works. And so this opens up sort of an editor. So this is the profile header, and you can see there's a bunch of something that looks like JSX here, but really it's JSON. That's what JSX has always been. And I can actually look at another way to look at it is just on PDSLS. So I'm going to open PDSLS, and I have this Inlay component collection, and I have this profile header. And so this stuff that you see here, like there's like a stack with like avatar and like title and caption and like all of that jazz, and like the cover. is actually, like you can also see here, that this is this JSON structure, which is just like a UI tree, and it imports from some DIDs, which are, this is like the built-ins, this is the design system, and these are actually like my other components. So it's kind of like DIDs act kind of like packages. And here it says that this component can act as a kind of a view of the profile collection. So it's like a thing that can render a profile, at least one of those things. And so I'm going to remix this a little bit. I think I'll get rid of the cover. And actually, like maybe I'll get rid of the avatar too, and instead I'll add a circle component. So you've seen the circle before, so I'll just throw that in here so that it's easy to find. I think I'll actually let me put it here, and I'll make this a row instead of and maybe I'll add some inset. Okay, so this is like my take on what a profile header should be. So there's already a profile header component, but I'm going to publish another profile header component from kind of my perspective, from this user's perspective. And so this, this doesn't change like what we're looking at here, but actually like I can switch between them. So here's the new profile header component from my other user, and you can see there are like all these different ways to look at a profile, right? Like what makes a profile, even like something like like PDSLS shows it. And so so I made this profile header, but this profile component written by somebody else, it doesn't use that header, right? But what I can do is, again, I can click remix here, and so now we're gonna wait. Is it going to the wrong thing? I think it's going. Let me just refresh just in case. Yeah, it went to the wrong thing. But here's the here is the profile component itself that contains. You can see it has the profile header. It has the tabs with like posts and replies, and kind of delegates to those. It has the circle tab. I'm not going to need that because I've moved the circle into. And I guess Paul doesn't listen to music, so it doesn't have till FM plays. I'll just get rid of that too, actually, for now. Yeah, and so, but now we have two versions of the profile header, right? There's one by Dan Abramov, which is the original one, it's here. And then there's profile header by my user, which is just created. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this a little bit up so that it takes precedence. So now the profile header is going to refer to the version that that I remixed from my user. So it's kind of like a low stakes way to like play around with. Okay, this is what I think a profile page should be. So I'm just gonna publish this as profile, and again it's just an option here. So now you can see that this is my take, my user's take on what a profile page could be. Okay, so of course we don't want to always create everything from scratch, unless you're using LLMs. This project is like very caveman mode. I'm sure there's like a way to get LLM to do this as well, and I don't know if it makes sense, but I'm just showing you kind of the vanilla version. So canvas, this thing, I'm calling it like a canvas, right? It's just like this thing where you can kind of jump around and kind of see different things and pull them apart. But one problem, that's my first prototype. But I realized that, okay, like how do you actually discover these components that other people create? And that's, that I made the editor, but then the question was, where do you find them? So I realized I needed something like a browser too. That's kind of like, I guess kind of like PDSLS, right? So we could say, if you've ever seen PDSLS, this interface where, like, you select the user, and then you select the collection type, and you can just like navigate between records, right? So this is kind of PDSLS inspired, but maybe you can like register these like other ways to view the same data, right? That are like more human friendly. and I'll just show you like the process for what what it feels like to create one of those. So I'll go to profile, and again, like just a profile record, like looks like this. This is a built-in component. I'm gonna create a new one. It gives me this template with like stuff that's available, and I'm just gonna say, okay, like let's say I want an avatar, and it knows that, oh, like there's already a did here, so it prefills it. And I want like a I want like a title with, let's say, like Paul's like display name, right? So we put display name here, and let's make this like a a row. Okay, so I'm gonna publish this as like profile example. Okay, so here's my profile. Where is it in the list? I don't see it in the list for some. Oh, there it is. So here's my profile example component. Let's check that it appears in my other user's PDSLS. So there it is, profile example. You can see the tree and stuff. So there are 3 types of inlay components. So this kind of component is called a template component because the actual JSON for for the UI lives directly inside the record. So if inlay dies, you can you can just interpret the same data and kind of bring it back to life. But it's very limited, right? Because I can't have, this is not JavaScript. This is just like a JSX editor. It's just like it could have been like a block editor or whatever. But it doesn't have like loops, it doesn't have conditions, it doesn't have like any fancy, you can't like hit another app view, another service or whatever. So it's a bit limited. But the one thing we can do is we can eject. I really like this feature. I build it into everything. Okay, wait, I can't eject from this one because I haven't created token. Let me use, let me just do the same example from my user where I already connected. So there's this thing called valdown. I don't know if you, let me delete this. Call this profile example. Yeah. So there's this thing called valdown, which is like a kind of simple coding environment for publishing some server code, kind of like REPL for that lets you like run a server. So when you press eject on a component, what it's going to do is it's going to hit the valdown API, which is for some reason taking like 5 seconds, and generate what they call a val. So a val is just, it's just a server. And I made some helpers for this thing, and like these are lexicons, so it like gets type checked. But this is, this is my component. Like I just moved it from here. Now I can like call it. So it's an XRPC call to that component, which means that I can, I can treat it as code. I could make like different, API calls here or whatever. And let's see. Yeah, you see it updated, so it works. All right. Now I need to drink. So let's build another fun little component. So let's go to this. What is it? No, the you and me connection thing that everybody's been using at the conference. Well, spoiler, I already made it. Well, let me just delete it so so I can demo it again. Where is the? Why can't I delete it actually? Is it from a different? Oh, I made it from a different account. Wait 1 second. I'll delete it. Don't close your eyes. So that you haven't seen it, and then I'll just make it again. Okay, it's gone. It's gone. So we're gonna make a little component. Like when you look at PDSLS version of these like connections, it's like what is going on here? Subject, did, and so on. So let's see. We're gonna create a little component that I'm gonna take the did of myself, from the record, and let's show maybe like an AVI handle. Maybe it's not a bad idea. And then let's take the did of the subject, and maybe also show an AVI handle, and maybe let's like just do some emoji like high five. And yeah, so and let's say we still add a timestamp. Okay, so we're going to publish this as a connection. So now you can see, you can see what's been going on. Yeah, let's see who I said hi to. Yeah. Okay, so this is working. Let's go back to the profile. So I kind of have this playground where I can, kind of just play with different components, kind of riff on them. It is a bit tedious sometimes. Like if I want to, like maybe I just want to change something globally, right? Like in NPM, like the model so far I'm following is similar to NPM, but like each component has dependencies, and so like if you want to change something, you fork that component, and then you kind of have to fork upwards dependency chain. But for example, in NPM, there's this feature like resolutions at the top, where you can just say, for everything, like I actually want to globally make something different. So for example, like let's say, like yesterday, Paul was showing this example with removing the handles and just showing the display names. Way ahead of you. Well, the truth is I actually haven't built a handle component, so I literally can't make the handle work. But I have a different idea, so I kind of want to remix this AVI handle thing. And specifically, I want to democratize education, so I want to make us all PhDs. So I'm just going to put PhD here, and I'm going to publish that. But now the problem is, okay, like you want things to be predictable, so you don't really want like everything to just fall apart because like you change one little thing. So you kind of want to be like intentional about like, do you want to like override something? And so I'm not going to like fork all the way to the top. Instead, I'm going to use something slightly different. So I have this like stack feature here, which is kind of like a global resolution mechanism, which has like first, you go through whatever the component author specifies, and then you can fall back on like my versions of components if some are missing. But I can actually drag that up and say, whoa, wait, okay, that was not intentional, but we can pretend that this didn't happen. So you can say that I want to prefer this version that I of any component, and so when I drag this thing above, it means that it will prefer my versions of a component throughout the whole tree. So this is why everyone is a PhD now. Great. Okay, we're gonna run out of time soon. I just want to I want to see why this broke, because I kind of wanted to show this. So connection, unresolved type connection. So is it called? Did I not save it? Oh, it has a different NSID. I created it. Yeah, I created it from a different user. Okay, I'll just publish it from. Yeah, I did not anticipate this. 1 second, let me delete this, and this is published by. It's not easy to be two different users at the same time. Let me just delete this as if it didn't exist, and I'm just gonna create this again from my real user, because that's what I'm already hard coding somewhere else. So this is my connection component. Okay, cool. And so the other thing I wanted to show here is so feeds, right? Like in feeds, feeds are another area where there's like some providers of like the actual like feed content, but the format of the feed itself is determined by the app, and you can't really experiment with like what goes into a feed if you're not an app author. So something I wanted to show here is that actually, like, if you look at the post list component that is responsible for showing this list of posts, if you look at its source, which is here, like profile posts, for example. So if you look at its source, the way it works is that it hits some did with a query, right? So I'm calling this like get profile post page, and I have this, in my val town, I have I have a service running that is wait, then this is not the one, this one. So this is the thing that generates the profile page, the profile post, and you can see that it hits the Bluesky API, and then it just returns UI components, right? So this is how we see, like this stuff is coming from here, and similarly the media tab where we see a grid of those images, like it's not like hard coded, it's also like it's just a component hitting a list of get profile media page. And here it's like a bunch of blobs that are getting clipped as squares. Or like get TLFM place on, well, again, Paul doesn't listen to music, but if you go to my profile, yeah, you can, it's like everything is a little browser. Yeah, if you go to my profile and look at place, you see like this is TLFM place. And it just, this is how it works. It just fetches the collection and renders an array of TLPlay components. But, what if you want to experiment with the content of those feeds themselves? And so, actually, each of these, like I provide these endpoints here, but these are also dynamically bound. So the way it actually works is that in my PDSLS, there's an endpoint collection that says to get profile post page gets resolved to a service running here, which is this code. And so this is how it renders an array of posts. But what my other user does, so my other user also has an endpoint record for the same endpoint, and it says actually let's hit this other service. And this other service is, here it is. So this is a different implementation of the get profile posts page. And here it fetches the posts, but it also fetches the you and me connections. And, and the element is just like a connection, the connection component that I created earlier. And it kind of just interleaves them. And so this is when, when I prioritize, when I prioritize my other stuff in the stack, then this is why it's gonna just, it's just gonna show them inline. So this is something that you can also experiment with. Yeah, and this is just a prototype. Like I don't know if it's I've coded like a Swift UI client for it. So I said there are three types of components. There's template components that are the UI lives in the record. There's external components, which are the ones that are ejected, which hit like a service or like a val or your own server or whatever. And the third type is built-in. And so when you looked at the you can see the red ones are overridden from the stack. So it's like, I want to do something different here. So you can see that here, like these are the built-ins. So they don't have any implementation on the protocol. This is something that like the design system implements. And I have my own design system that is like what I'm using here, all this like row, caption, avatar, all the stuff you've seen. But in principle, you could make, you could fork I just open sourced Inlay, so it's on Tangled. Or is it Tangled Inlay? Yeah, there it is. So the app is also open source. So you can fork it, you can make your own version. You can decide to have a different set of primitives and to like I made these primitives to be like cross-platform, so you could make like a Swift UI client for them or something else, but you could make them like closer to HTML if you want. And yeah, this is just an idea I'm kind of throwing out. Like I'm probably not gonna like maintain this forever, but it's on the protocol, so in some sense it is maintained forever. So thank you. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, it's called Inlay. It's like inlay.at. Yeah, this is how you find it. Okay, sorry. Bye.